When I turned 13, I smiled. Now I am 19 and I'm relearning how to motion my mouth into an expression of happiness. Which is to say that somewhere along the line the smile had died. Which is to say that somewhere along the line the smile turned frown. See, I am black. I'm a son. I'm a brother. And sometimes I'm overwhelmed with the idea that I have a life to live and dreams to achieve and a family to uplift. When I was 18, I dreamt of being a lawyer. I dreamt of making life better. I dreamt of being better than my ancestors could have dreamed. When I was 17, I believed I would stop being a foreign national, both in places I called home and in the skin of my own body. When I was 16, I knew I was halfway through this chapter. At 15, I learned to use my mouth, learned to scream. I learned how not to stay silent in places where my name and its blackness were the only thing that people saw, or the only thing that camp counselors heard, or didn't. When I was 14, I believed in love. I believed I had to find it. I believed that love was so freeing that it would see me. I believed that love was so freeing that it would free me. When I turned 13, I smiled. I smiled because I was excited. I smiled because I was excited to start this new chapter of my life. I smiled because I was excited. I smiled because I couldn't sleep that night. I smiled because I didn't know that this chapter was preluded in crocodile rivers wrapped in white hands willing to consume me. See, what I didn't tell you is that at 16 I watched my brother drown. And maybe that's where I lost my smile. I watched as bodies of water pulled him in faster than bodies of people could pull him out. See, what I didn't tell you is that at 14 I was taught to be silent, groomed into a culture of it. And maybe that's why I needed freeing. See, what I didn't tell you is that maybe being a lawyer was all to defend me against my own guilt. The guilt of surviving. See, what I didn't tell you is that that could have been me. The brother. The son. The one who sank into his coffin fighting to stay afloat. For you see, I too packed my luggage suitcases onto camp buses that were headed into faraway places in the name of orientation and friendship making. And what I had to learn was that bodies of water have always played a role in the suffering of my people. And that maybe my smile was shoelaced noosed like an artwork camp activity meant to plaster me into silence. And I don't know if my mouth screamed because it knew, or if it did so that you too would know. But I now understand that if black bodies are not seen when they are breathing, and if they are not seen when they are alive, they will never be seen. There will always be names drifting in the air like loose leaves on boys' schools' hikes. I now understand that silence is cotton knit into the seams of life jackets meant to protect us. I just never knew from who. But I now see that it's from institutions that are meant to build us. And I now see that silence perpetuates erasure. Erasure of humanity. Erasure of face. Erasure of a life. And so to the family of Enoch Mpianzi, we see you. We see your son. I see his name and my brother's face is reflected. And so until the truth is brought to surface, we will continue to remind the people and the institutions that be that he has a name, that he has a face, one which we will remember, for he is the brother and he is the son. Rest in peace, Enoch Mpianzi.